Hey, I'm Art Gonzales with Sony Electronics, and today we're going to be talking about our DWZ digital wireless system. We actually have two new models that recently came out, which is our 70 series of 2.4 gigahertz digital wireless. It's the DWZ Be70 and the DWZ Be70, two new packages. The DWZ Be70 includes a body pack transmitter, which also comes with a lavalier microphone, the standard lavalier that clips on your tie, and also a headset microphone. So the package now includes two types of microphones, including the body pack transmitter. Now, along with that, of course, you also need a receiver. We have a half rack receiver, which is very similar to our current models for music production as well as guitar systems, but we've actually added a few advanced features to these particular systems. Now, I'll talk about that just a little bit later, but also the Be70, which is a very similar system, except it includes a handheld transmitter rather than a body pack transmitter. Now, the handheld transmitter is a little bit different than our previous model in the fact that it has a latching on-off switch rather than a momentary switch. It also includes something called encryption. Now, the encryption is also available on our body pack transmitter and handheld transmitter, but it's something that is added to our advanced systems. Now, the encryption allows the digital signal to be basically scrambled and then descrambled on the receiver side, so it makes it much more difficult to be picked off in a secure environment. Specifically, in government environments or corporate events, that's a level of security that they're looking for where information is very sensitive and you don't want it to be picked up. So encryption now is included on the 70 series of DWZ product. Now, that's a combination of both the transmitter and the receiver, so there are menus within the receiver that allow you to basically turn the encryption on or off and also sync the two together so that you basically have a handshake between the transmitter and the receiver so that that transmitter only works with that particular receiver that you're using. And the same functionality is included on the body pack. Now, also with the handheld, just as with our previous series, the heads are interchangeable. So that allows you to basically take the included dynamic head that comes with it, but also be able to take either third-party capsules. In this case, we see a Shure Beta 58, which fits on here. It does conform to the standard that Shure is using, so it allows you to put a Shure 58 head on there. It also conforms to some condenser microphones as well, so not just dynamic mics. But the one that comes supplied with it is a dynamic microphone, but it is an interchangeable capsule. Now, in addition to that, one of the other advanced features that we now have is the ability to use nickel metal hydride batteries. Now, currently, I have alkaline batteries in here, but you can take any off-the-shelf nickel metal hydride batteries and put them in here. Put two AA batteries into the transmitter, whether it's a handheld or even on the body pack, same functionality, two AA batteries. But now we have the ability to use the nickel metal hydride batteries using an external charger. Now, the charger, the nice thing about it is it's a contactless charger. And this particular charger will support either a handheld or the body pack transmitter or combinations of the two. Now, you notice, as I mentioned earlier, there is no contact, so it's an inductive type charging system. On the bottom of both of the transmitters, there's an inductive part of it that allows you to essentially not have to worry about contacts. One of the disadvantages of using a contact charger system is they do have a tendency over time to get dirty, so you have to worry about cleaning them, and reliability is not quite as good. So that allows you to put them and basically charge them in the charging stand. So when you put the product into the charging stand, the transmitter, even if you have it on, it will automatically shut the transmitter off and have it go into the charging mode, and then when you pull it out, it will turn it back on. So a very convenient way to save on the cost of batteries. And now the other big advantage of going with the DWZ 70 series is this is something, a very unique feature only to the DWZ series, and that is automatic feedback reduction. We are now incorporating a DSP-based 1024-step automatic feedback reduction system. Now, this is a dynamic system that automatically is constantly looking at the signal and basically applying 1024 filters to combat any type of feedback that may be introduced into the system. This is a great feature to have, especially if you're going to be using it in, for instance, like let's say a classroom or where there may be ceiling speakers, or where there may be somebody prone to walking in front of a speaker, to basically reduce the feedback in that particular environment. So one of the things I want to show you is the feedback reduction menu within the system. The operation is very easy to get to. It simply requires you to push in on the select button on the rotary encoder, and you have several menus to choose from. There's a channel setup, audio setup, some advanced settings. For this particular function, we are under the audio setup, and you'll see feedback reducer, equalizer, and transmitter muting setups. For this purpose, we're going to show you the feedback reducer. And once you go into that particular menu, you'll see two other options. One is the effect level, and the other is apply feedback reducer. Now, the effect level essentially decides how much of the feedback reduction effect do you want to implement within the system. You can go from essentially off, which is no feedback reduction at all. You can go to a low setting, which is a mild form of feedback reduction with no latency involved. And then a mid-level, which actually starts to put in more DSP, more filters, a different algorithm, a little bit more latency. And then the high, which is the worst case scenario, where you may have somebody who's basically standing right in front of a speaker, but still needs to be able to use the system, so the feedback reduction is at its highest. So the three basic features that are advanced on the 70 series are contactless rechargeables, encryption, and the feedback reduction. And that pretty much sums up the 70 series of DWZ Digital Wireless. Once again, my name is Art Gonzales. Thanks for listening. If you have any further questions, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, and they'll be glad to help you out. Thanks.